Hello and good afternoon. Thank all of you guys for stopping in and dining with your girl, to rock with your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha. I want to thank all of my subscribers for stopping in and hang out with me today at Cafe de Paris. I don't know how the weather is where you guys are, but it's very dreary here. It's been raining like crazy. And then on top of that, it's nippy on top of the rain. So I'm definitely not going out today. It's definitely going to be an at-home, have some Starbucks type of day today. You feel me? So on that note, I want to thank all of you guys for just stopping in and hanging out with me and still supporting my channel. On that note, I further wanted to mention to some of my subscribers that I appreciate the majority of you who have been, so loyal to me as a subscriber. And it's been times where I have caught people commenting on my video and throwing shade and just saying some just having to bring negative things underneath my video, or there's been some who have even for whatever reason have decided they wanted to unsubscribe or whatever. And I just like the fact that the majority of you have been standing up for me. When y'all see somebody throwing shade or y'all see somebody being negative, y'all have no problem putting people in their place. And I appreciate my subscribers for doing that, okay? Y'all be shutting it down before I can even reply and speak my piece. Y'all already be looking out for me, and y'all be shutting people down who come to my page for foolishness. So I want to thank all of my subscribers and my followers for just supporting your girl. And then y'all do it so smoothly. I like the fact that y'all don't even use degrading names. Y'all just put people in their place, and you tell them if you don't like it, hey, don't keep coming here with that. So I want to thank all of y'all. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate it, because this game is not easy. It comes with a lot of challenges. This craft is not always well respected. You get what I'm saying? And especially the moment you say something somebody doesn't want to hear. It's like, as long as you're saying what people want to hear, people are fine, people support you, people acknowledge you. You can be saying the right thing 300 times. You could have said the right thing 300 times, but that one time you say something that they did not agree with, all hell just breaks loose. People just go left. And I get it, and I understand people change like the weather. So I'm not going to dwell on that. It is what it is. But I want to take the time to thank my subscribers for y'all supporting me and for backing me up. I thank you guys so much. And you ladies, because some of my ladies been rocking with me, and what I do like is, I guess that's why I haven't had much friends, due to the fact that, I've always been, I would say, a cutthroat type of person, meaning I'm not going to cut no corners. Whenever, I've had friends reach out to me and say, Mocha, I need advice about something. What you think about this and what you think about that? And for the most part, most will receive my advice without a problem, but then there will be those few who constantly want to be validated. And I understand when it comes to being a black woman that we are constantly under the radar, and we are so used to being ridiculed that even when somebody is trying to help us, even when somebody is trying to mean well to us, but we're so used to being bullied, verbally bullied, in a sense that even when somebody is trying to encourage us, even if it's not in a loving manner like we think, we automatically get offended and we put a wall up. But what I do like is most of my sisters out there, they like when another black woman keeps it real and tells them, you know what, girl, you a jackass, you stupid, you acting like a project chick, you acting ratchet right now. You know what I'm saying? And they can receive it. And no matter how harsh the delivery, they know it's coming from a good place. You know what I'm saying? So, I support my sisters out there who respect my material and know that whatever I do is not to degrade all black women. It's just a certain category of black women that need to be exposed, and it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate my sisters out there who respect my craft and respect what I'm doing and know that it's coming from a good place and a compassionate place. So I thank all of you, because it's not just guys that's been supporting my channel. It's been some of you, my black women have been supporting my channel as well. So I want to thank all of you. So I'm going to go ahead and move on and move forward, because I actually had a gentleman reach out to me, and his question was, how do you get past a breakup? How do you get past a heartbreak, you know? And he's not the first person to reach out and ask me this question. So this is to let you know, ladies, that not only do women, do we have a hard time with recovering from heartbreaks and heartaches, so do men, okay? Men don't get past relationships either, you know what I'm saying? So just the fact that a man reached out to me, I'm like, I got to jump on this, because it's not too many men that are willing to ask those type of questions, because, you know, most men have a lot of pride, and, you know, and it's their ego where they don't want to like to ask questions like that. So I was just so, yeah, you know, I just was really, you know, excited when he reached out to me, because I'm like, wow, a guy's asking me this. So I really felt it was imperative that I address recovering from a heartbreak, because, you know what, I know this is something that, this is pretty typical. This is an issue that everybody has gone through. It's something that you probably have already gone through, and you still are struggling, trying to recover from it, trying to heal from it. Or this is something you see it coming. It's kind of like a freight train. You know the relationship is about to end its course, and you are worried, you are panicking, because you really love this person and you don't want to lose your relationship. So I really feel like this advice that I'm about to give you could help those who have already lost a relationship, or are on the verge of losing a relationship. So we're going to get to that topic right away, as about recovering from a heartbreak, okay? Now, let's face it. Breakups are very painful. It doesn't matter how strong of a man or a woman you are. Breakups can really take a lot out of you, and can mentally and emotionally put you in a bad zone. A zone you struggle recovering from, okay? Breakups are hard because there has been a lot that has been invested. There has been a lot of time, a lot of sacrifices. In some cases, even children have been invested. Debt has been invested. I mean, couples have went out there and purchased these big old homes. Some couples have started businesses together. So, you know, it's all type of debts that and debts and projects that have been invested. And most of all, feelings have been invested, and that is the hardest part of all. You know what I mean? I think people in a sense could get past the losing time, and you make it get past some of the debt you done got in. You could just split the property down the middle or whatever. But the hardest thing that you can recover from is the feelings that you have invested. And trust me, rest assured, I understand 100% where y'all coming from. And I know a lot of y'all are like, well, Mocha, how can you even relate? You haven't experienced no breakup. You've been with your husband 17 years. It'll be 18 years come March 4th of 2018. So I know a lot of people like, yeah, I can't relate. And that is far from the truth. I can relate. Do you know how many times me and my husband broke up and got back together? And even though our breakups haven't been long, and we've never broken up as far as he's been going for a week or two, and after he done been out and been to the strip clubs, and after I done been out of town and had my little side piece or whatever, now we want to get back together. Most of our breakups have been like a day or a couple of hours. We've never gotten to that point to where we just broke up. I think one time when I was younger, I think when I was 21, 22, and I just had my daughter, we had a rocky stage in our marriage, and I went to stay with my mom for like 3 or 4 days. And I mean, and he came after me. I mean, he didn't just, you know, go on and like, okay, she's going good, I can do me, I can go party, I can go drink with my boys, hit the strip club. No, he came after me like, no, we need to try to find a way to work this out. Let's talk about this. You know, he came to my mom's house, you know, and we sit outside in the parking lot in front of my mom's driveway, hashing out how we felt about things that transpired between the both of us. So it was just one of them things, I guess, you know, no matter how many times we broke up, we just kept fighting for it. Neither one of us just ever got to that point to where, I'm done. I don't want this no more. I don't love him or I don't love her. We have just never reached that point to where we was just willing to just give it up. We felt like no matter what we went through, we could overcome it. Instead of allowing the situation to conquer us, we decided that as a couple, we was going to come together and conquer the situation. And I think a lot of couples are missing that these days, you know what I mean? But again, it took both of us fighting for it. I don't care how much he wanted it. If I didn't want it, guess what? It wasn't going to work. Or if I just wanted it and he didn't, it wasn't going to work. It took both of us being passionate about it, fighting for it, and wanting and desiring our relationship to keep progressing, because this is not a one-sided thing. This is a teamwork. Marriages are relationships, even if you're not married. If you're in a relationship, it is teamwork. You cannot be the only one doing all the work while the other person is sitting back and not making any effort, okay? So I thought it was very imperative that I mention that to you guys, okay? Now, keep in mind, I just typed all of this up like maybe 15, 20 minutes ago before I even started this message. So just bear with me if I'm just kind of all over the place or whatever, because I just typed this up real quick. But anyway, just realize in this life that everything comes with an expiration date. Even life doesn't last forever. So expect that some relationships have an ending. Everyone isn't cut out to weather the storms. Some people will walk out on you when it drizzles, and others will walk with you whether it's a storm, hurricane, tornado, or tsunami. And I'm going to give y'all a truth moment. Me and my husband have had to weather some very severe Hurricane Harvey storms. I mean, things happening in our marriage that, just destroyed, trust, destroyed, just so much greatness that we both had built upon. I mean, had both of us not have the strength or the tenacity to keep it going, we could have threw in the towel a long time ago. And it's things that I've gone through, things that we have gone through, I would never feel comfortable sharing on YouTube or out open with the world, because it's so unfortunate that sometimes you want to share your testimony to try to help people, because there's people out there who's going through the same thing or worse and could really use your guidance. But unfortunately, we are in a very judgmental world, and people are so cruel. And some people not only cruel, some people are miserable and unhappy. So the moment when you share your testimony, you share your trials, you share your tribulations, some people like to use it against you, you know what I'm saying? And it's sad that even as a blogger, even people that's in ministry, whether if you're a pastor or or you somebody who have like a high position as far as, in inspiring, encouraging each other, you have to be so careful with the information that you share, because people are so rude and people can be so cruel, and instead of them using your testimony to better themselves, they'll use it to hurt you or to harm you. So because of that, I will never feel 100% comfortable being very open with the things that I've gone through. But I will say this much: the things that I have gone through would be things that most couples, most women would have not been able to deal with. Would have been out the door a long time ago. And same thing, it's things that I took him through, because I can't place 100% of all the blame on him. And I know women, we have this tendency where we want to put everything that ever went wrong in the marriage, we want to put it on them, and sometimes it doesn't take big things. A lot of people feel like because they didn't contribute a severe amount of damage that they are less guilty, and that's not true. Sometimes it's just small little things you can do. It's the small lies, the small deceitfulness. It doesn't have to be nothing major or big, like somebody cheated and stepped out on you, or you came home and caught your old man sleeping with your best friend. It's not just big things like that cause or create breakups. It's the little things like the disrespect, the lack of trust, you being too open with outsiders about what's going on within your household. It can just be small things that can create such significant damage in a relationship. So I just felt like I needed to address that with all of you guys, okay? It's not just the big things that cause a breakup, it's the little things. Too much of the little things could lead up into one big thing to where a person could get to a point and say, you know what, I'm done. I done had enough. I can't deal with this, okay? But keep in mind, unlike back in the days, the elderly, which is, those who are probably in the, I don't say 60s or 70s because I still feel like that's young, but you know what I'm saying. The elderly, like our grandparents, aunts, uncles, older generation, the baby boomers, that have been married for many years, like 25 or more, can tell you some stories. They have gone through things in marriages back then that many of y'all today wouldn't be able to deal with. Aunt Lorraine can tell you Uncle James cheated on her for years, but when Uncle James passed away, he made sure she was well established and all the college kids' tuition was paid for and paid off. Uncle James could tell you some stories about Aunt Lorraine. Aunt Lorraine wasn't always a good wife. She was taking the money he was paying for that he gave her for the bills, and she wasn't investing the money wise. She was buying all kind of stuff they couldn't afford to try to show off for her little friends and stuff, and she couldn't always cook. She didn't always clean good, and she always bricking about every little thing, and the story goes on. People who have been married for 10 years or more have the most stories, because again, that comes from the fact that the longer you are with someone, the more you and that person are going to go through. It's as simple as that. And it's funny how sometimes people can be so judgmental when you share some of the things that you and your husband or you and your wife have gone through. And people are like, man, shit, I wouldn't have been able to take that. I wouldn't be able to deal with that. But this is the thing. Regardless of what you think a person shouldn't take or shouldn't deal with, they did not allow that situation to overrule the love they have for one another, or to overrule all of that, all of what they have accomplished together. You get what I'm saying? So some people can weather the storms, and the thing about it is, like I said, the longer you have been with someone, the more you are going to go through. And you have people who have never been in a long-term relationship, but that have caught just as much hell going from relationship to relationship to relationships. They done caught so much flack just off of being with James, Greg, Willie, Tom, Ricky, Gerald, Greg, Craig. I mean, been with several men but have not accomplished nothing. You went through all these random dudes, or you've been with all these random women. You've been with Linda. You done been with Brenda. You done been with Tina. You done been with Jasmine. You done been with Carol. You have been with all of these women, but all of these random relationships, these thousands of relationships, but you have not gained anything. And only thing you have gained was heartbreak after heartbreak and disappointment after disappointment, versus a person who has been in a long-term relationship. Everything they've gone through it with just that one person. You know what I'm saying? I've had people who've been judgmental about my marriage and situation, but at the same time, what they're not understanding is everything I've gone through, I went through that with one man. I didn't go through that 3, 4, 5 kids later, 3, 4, 5 baby daddies later. All that I've gone through, I've gone through it with one person, because the thing about it is, you're not going to avoid going through. I don't care, regardless. But the thing is, you got to realize, is a quantity versus quality. If you're going to go through with at least somebody that's worth the struggle, that's worth the trials and tribulations, versus all of these random relationships and all of these random people in and out your life. You're constantly going through stuff with them, but you're not building anything. You know what I'm saying? You're not gaining anything. And that's the sad part about it, But People back in the day who've been married for a long time, they got some stories they can tell you. Don't be fooled by the gray hair, and be fooled by, the home that they done paid off, or the businesses they have. They got some stories. They got some things that they can tell you they have had to go through before they got to this place in life to where they've been able to enjoy their marriage, enjoy their relationship, enjoy building together. That came with a price. You get what I'm saying? And the problem is we're in a generation where it's a microwave generation. People do not want to put in work, but everybody wants the rewards up front. But it takes a lot of going through before you can get to that place. And all of my old school couples who have been there, they can tell you they didn't get there overnight. It took them going through a lot of ups and downs and trials and tribulations for them to get to a place in life where they can really be happy and comfortable with each other, okay? So, if you have been with someone for 5 years or more, expect to go through some things. Too often, there are folks that are always judgmental about other people's relationships, not understanding that every relationship has a different journey. So don't allow any outsider to make you feel like your journey, make you feel bad about your journey with your companion. God has built all of us differently. Some of us can handle certain things about a person that others can't, which makes them compatible. We hear it all the time. This is the bottom line, people. I don't care who you be with. There's going to be some bull-ish that you're going to have to deal with. Okay? Because all of us got problems, okay? And some of us have issues with handling money. If it's not that, you're going to deal with somebody that has a problem with they drink too much. Or you have somebody, you may deal with a woman, she shops and spends too much money. She's not good at budgeting. I mean, you may deal with somebody, who's good at handling money and is an excellent provider, but he don't know how to keep his penis in his pants. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just what I'm saying is this. There's going to always be a challenge somewhere, and you as the man or you as the woman have to decide what's a deal breaker for you. Okay, you know what I'm saying? So you got some women, I get it. The moment a man cheats on them, they out of there. They're not dealing with it. They're not going to tolerate the disrespect. They're not going to tolerate being mistreated in that manner, and I totally get it. And then you have some women that's like this. Okay, yeah, he cheated, he messed around, but we're in a better place. I mean, it took us to go through that for us to get to where we are now. In other words, our relationships have different trials and tribulations that they have to face. There's different dynamics to every relationship. So you can be an outsider and look at that person's relationship and feel like, wow, I don't see how she stuck with him through all of that. Or I don't see how he stuck with her through all of that. But that is what it took for them to realize how important it is that they learn to respect one another and appreciate one another. Because I don't care we get too fascinated by these couples that we see on TV, these Hollywood couples, behind the red carpet, there are some things that they are going through that you wouldn't even believe in a million years. And slowly but surely, that's why a lot of them are getting exposed. All of these couples who we felt like were so perfect and so happy, it's coming to the forefront now. People are filing for divorce due to irreconcilable differences or whatever the case is. Things are not always what they seem. So just because a person has allowed it to be known what their trials are, and it's easy for you to judge that person because they have shared it with you, that don't mean those who are keeping it a secret what they're going through means they have less problems than the person who's being open about it. Okay, you have some couples that are just professionals at holding it down. No matter what goes on in their house, you'll never know it. I mean, they could have been throwing dishes and hitting each other with frying pans, you know what I'm saying? And you just stop by and, holler at them, see how they doing. And you see all the dishes, you see all the cracked up dishes on the floor, you see the frying pans, you can tell evidently somebody was getting down, fighting, it got ugly. And they'll talk to you just as nice and polite, like nothing ain't ever happened. Oh, come on in, honey, have a seat. Baby, bring me that broom so I can sweep these broken dishes that the cat done knocked over. I mean, you got some people, I don't care how much they go through, you will never know it, because a lot of people have learned that In order to protect their relationship or to protect their marriage, they have to hold it down. They have to protect their marriage. You know what I'm saying? So just because people are not disclosing all of what they're going through, that don't mean they're not going through nothing, okay? So just make sure you keep that in mind, all right? So another thing is, we are not going to go through the same things at the same time. Some couples are going to have tougher battles to fight than others. And those of you who haven't gone through anything, don't smell yourself just as of yet. Life is full of surprises. Challenges come in all shapes and forms. Whether a death of a child, a mate is paralyzed from an accident, adultery has occurred, children conceived outside of marriages, drugs, alcohol, sexual abuse issues with your exes, your in-laws, you name it. Every relationship, every marriage is destined, and I mean destined, to go through. You are not exempt from going through. I don't care if your husband is a lawyer and you're a doctor. I don't care if your wife works at a laundromat and you work at Popeyes. Every marriage, regardless of their social status, I don't care if it's a black couple, a white couple, a rich couple, a poor couple, every couple is promised to go through something. It's going to be trials that come in your life that none of you haven't seen coming. And all of it is a part of life. It doesn't mean that the relationship is bad, the marriage is bad. It doesn't mean that he's a bad person, that the woman is a bad person. Life is promised to bring us troubles. And if you think the only way you're going to have a good relationship is by having the perfect man or the perfect woman, I hate to tell you, girlfriend, and I hate to tell you guys, that you are going to be disappointed. You are going to go through. You just got to keep that in mind, okay? That every relationship is going to have its share of ups and downs and tragedies. Me and my husband, we never thought we would lose a child, but we did. I know people who have lost children. I know people who have lost jobs and big time careers where they've been bringing in, thousands a month in income, where they was able to live lavishly and luxury, to only find out that that husband or that wife, made one bad mistake, or that company decided to just drop them because they're making changes, and everything they built was just stripped from them overnight. Relationships are no joke. It's gonna be things y'all gonna go through that y'all didn't even see coming. You know what I'm saying? And you got to be prepared for that. That is why the vows say, for better or for worse. It's a reason those words were put into the vows. You know what I'm saying? And even if you're not married, just being in a relationship, you and that person are going to go through some things. You know what I mean? And you have to be prepared for that. You cannot you cannot always be on cloud nine thinking things are going to be wonderful and things are going to be great all the time. Expect to go through some trials and tribulations. All right. Let me see. Yeah. Marriages and relationships will not let you choose what tests you have to take. Again, we don't always get to choose our battles. A lot of tests God is going to assign to you that you didn't ask for. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like being a college student. You don't get to pick what questions your instructor is going to put on your test. And as much as we would love that advantage, you know how many of us would pass and leave and graduate high school and graduate college with high honors if we were allowed to pick out the questions we wanted on the test. That way the test will be easier for us because we would already know what kind of questions are going to come on the test because we picked it out. But guess what? Life does not work that way. You get what I'm saying? And that's the same thing with tests in life. You don't get to choose what you and that man are going to go through. You don't get to choose what you and that woman are going to go through. Y'all could be today laughing, enjoying each other, crazy about each other, in love with each other, and get bad news from the doctor that your wife has severe cancer, is having cancer, or your husband has been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. I mean, things will come in your life that will hit you like a ton of bricks that you didn't see coming, and you have to be keep in mind that, things don't always go according to plan. And that's the problem with a lot of relationships and marriages. People expect things to go smooth sailing, and sometimes life will trick you, and things will go smooth sailing for like a year, 5-6 months, no problems, everything lovely dovey, and just bam, stuff that hit you like a damn freight train. And you got to constantly be in reality. You can't be so consumed with everything that's going right that you're not preparing yourself for things that can possibly go wrong. All right. So let's get to the issue at hand. Just because someone you love has started the race with you, it doesn't mean that they are going to make it to the finish line with you. And I mean, that's the God's honest truth. It doesn't matter, how long you have been with someone and how much y'all have gone through. Some things just in its course. You know what I'm saying? Some, like I mentioned before, people who start out with you are not always going to finish this race with you. Some people, just as you're getting ready to make it to the finish line, they will jump off right at the next stop, right at the stop before you make it to the final stop. I mean, not everybody can weather the storms, you know what I mean? And, that's unfortunate that most of the time, we look for that person to be there with us all the way to the end. And it does not always go that way, guys and ladies. Sometimes God will only allow a specific person in your life for a season. If that man or woman is no longer there, that you always thought was destined to be with you in your life, maybe they were there to teach you how to become a better man or a better woman for the person that is really meant to be with you. Okay. Some people come into our life as a blessing. Others come as a lesson. Okay. Sometimes, you haven't made up in your mind that this is who you're going to be with forever. Y'all are going to have children. Y'all are going to purchase the big home, and life goes a totally different way. This person decides they don't want this. They don't want the relationship. They don't want to keep fighting for it, and it puts you in a bad position. But just realize that sometimes it's not always them who makes the decision. Sometimes it's God who's constantly orchestrating your life. He is it's like a game of chess, and you and your life are all the pieces on the chessboard. He's constantly moving the pieces around. Even though in your mind you have an idea how the game is going to go or what move you're going to make, sometimes God will come in and change everything. He can knock all the pieces off the board and make you start from scratch just when you almost this close to winning. I mean, because again, God has already mapped out your life. He's already decided who's going to be in it and who's not going to be in it. So if that person is no longer in your life, who's to say that God only allowed them to be there for a certain amount of time, just for you to learn something from them? You know what I mean? Again, like I said, some people come as a lesson, others comes as a blessing. Okay. Realize that no matter how good of a man or good of a woman you got, they have done somebody dirty before they got with you. They took somebody through something, and so have you. They wasn't always this faithful, understanding, devoted, loyal person. It took them to either get burnt or either burn some bridges to learn. Learning how to better ourselves always comes at the expense of hurting others. And that is the God's honest truth. A lot of us, we don't want to be used as a pawn. And people learning a lesson. But it's unfortunate that sometimes we got to be hurt. Sometimes we have to go through in order for God to deal with that person. And it's unfortunate that somebody has to be used in the process of it. I mean, it's kind of like being a victim of a robbery. You know what I'm saying? You coming out the mall with your pocketbook and you done did all this Christmas shopping and you getting ready to load the back of your trunk with all of these gifts that you brought from family and friends, and you're excited, the holiday season spirit, you're so excited about it. And out the blue, somebody comes up on you and puts a gun in your head and say, give me your wallet, give me your purse, blah, 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 and you become a victim. You are traumatized. At that event that this person was willing to kill you over your wallet, over your pocketbook, you know what I'm saying? And it's an experience that never leaves you. But you were able to identify the suspect, and the police put that person in custody, and now they're serving time. And even though you became the victim, It took somebody becoming a victim in order for that person to have to pay for their mistakes. Had there not been no victim, that person would have never had to face their mistakes. It took him using you as a victim. Sometimes God would allow us, the strong to be used as a vessel in order for other people to learn. It took you being used as the victim in order for this person to do time and learn that you can't get away with hurting people or robbing or taking from people and think it's not going to catch up with you and think you're not going to have to answer for it. You know what I'm saying? So again, sometimes the only way other people learn is through burning other people. You know what I'm saying? So just keep in mind, you are a human being. Either you're going to get burned or you're going to be the one burning. Either way, you're going to end up on one side, one way or another, because that is the way life is designed. Life is not perfect. Another problem is, never make a person your world. They can be a part of your world, but don't make them your world. A lot of people, they get in relationships and they make their world only exist around that one person. And that's dangerous to do. And I'm gonna tell you that. Like, I love my husband to death. There's nothing I wouldn't do for him, and I know vice versa. The same would be for me. But I don't make him my whole life. He is a part of my life, and I share my life with him. But I don't make him so much my world to the point to where I forget he can fail me. He can disappoint me. And sometimes we put so much hope and so much faith in the people that when they disappoint us, we're devastated. And the same thing, people, your mate could put so much trust in you, could put so much faith in you. And the moment you disappoint them, you feeling like the lowest of the low, you know what I mean? Because you feel like you disappointed them. And like I tell people, I don't care if you're family, I don't care if you're friends, don't put your trust in me. I'm going to disappoint you somewhere along the line. You know what I'm saying? I can mean well, but I'm a human being. Meaning I'm human. I'm liable to disappoint you somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So don't make me so much your world where you forget I'm damn human and I mess up too. And I think that's a majority of people problem. You get so connected and you make them so much your world. You don't allow them to be human and make them mistakes because no one is perfect. You know what I mean? People will disappoint you, and that's just the bottom line. So don't get so consumed with people that you lose yourself in the process. Also, just because a person has decided to give up on you and call your relationship quit, that doesn't make you less of a man or less of a woman. It just simply means that they didn't have what it took to weather the storm with you. It's better that they left you than to cheat on you or lie and pretend they love you until what they really want comes along. I would rather that man or that woman walk out your life and say, I don't want this, I'm not interested in you, and to keep sitting up there lying to you saying, I love you, I want to be with you, but then they cheat on you and they lying to you. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather a quick no than a slow yes. Don't deceive me. I'd rather honest no than a fake yes. It just saves you from so much drama in the long run. A quick truth is less painful than a long living lie. The worst thing a person can do is keep riding with you for years, knowing that they aren't feeling you and that their heart isn't in it like yours. Breakups are never easy to recover from, but life goes on. There's no need of you walking around here bitter, angry, and resentful because the person has moved on and living their life, but you are still emotionally handicapped. You're giving that person way too much power if you're still angry and resentment and hateful towards them. So here's a few tips on how to recover from bad breakups. 1, get back to you. Get back into those projects that you delayed. Relationships can become so time consuming that we start neglecting things that are important to us that we always did way before we got in a relationship. Like your business, going back to school, joining your church, exercising, walking the park. Whatever plans you neglected and you didn't fall through on once you allowed your relationship to intervene. Get back into those projects. Another thing, this has always worked for me. Spend time with family and friends. You need to be around people when you are going through a bad breakup. When you're by yourself, you start feeling gloomy. Like to say the devil, a person, how do you say it? basically like a bored mind becomes a devil's playground. An idle mind becomes a devil's playground. You know, when you are by yourself, you start reflecting and thinking about all of these negative things. You know, it takes you to a dark place to where in some cases, some people even start feeling suicidal because it replays in your mind all of what you've gone through with that person and how much you miss them, how much you love them. You do not need to be by yourself. You need to be around your family and your friends who's going to encourage you and have your back and who's going to help you get through it. Reconnect spiritually through church. Some problems are too heavy for us to try to heal on our own. Sometimes we have to get that spiritual divine connection. You know, some pain you can't handle recovering from it on your own. You need to get that spiritual connection. Anything that reminds you of that person, get rid of it until you heal. Get rid of those old love letters. Get rid of that nice jacket she bought you. Don't go hanging out in them places where y'all used to always hang out at, y'all favorite restaurant, y'all dining on Tuesdays, until you can heal. It's little things like that that will trigger you emotionally, and until you have totally and wholeheartedly healed, you don't need to be dealing with anything that reminds you of that person. And definitely do not take that person to bed. It's a lot of people that know that person no longer wants them as far as a relationship, but they keep going to bed with the person because they still enjoy the sex they have with that person. Until your heart heals, you do not need to still keep being intimate with that person, because intimacy has a way of clouding your judgment. You know what I mean? You do not want to put your emotions at risk again. Do not take that person to bed. Do not lie to yourself and say, oh, well, I'm not really, I can have sex with that person and not feel nothing behind it. I know in some cases, I know men are better at it than women, but women, we are the worst. Do not keep going to bed with a man if you know you're still feeling him, okay? Because if you went to bed with him Wednesday night and you turn around Thursday night and you see him taking Keisha to dinner after he done screwed you and he walking past you like you a broom sitting in the corner, you're going to feel some type of way. You know why? Because you didn't heal, you know. And as long as you keep giving a man your parts, somewhere you still giving him your heart. So it is best to no longer sleep with that person, okay? All right. And next, still be friends if you're mature enough to handle it. This, I don't recommend this, but if you guys are really, really mature, still be friends. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes if you love that person, it's better to have some part of them than just no part of them at all. Than to just completely have them walk out your life. But again, that's only if you and that person is mature enough to handle it. If you know you're going to feel some type of way and y'all friends, and that person going to date if that person dates somebody, you're going to get offended, you're going to feel some type of way, you do not need to be friends, okay? Because evidently you still have feelings. And sometimes you have to go apart to come back together. Now, this does not apply for everyone, but it's been some situations in which people have had to break up for like a year or two. Once they done went out there, find out there was nothing out there, everything they was looking for, they had it all along. Different stroke for different folks. I know other people may be like, oh, hell no. Once a person has decided to walk out on me, deuces, that's it. They cannot come back in my life, and I respect that. You know, but at the same time, you have to be honest with you. I've seen a lot of people play themselves too by knowing they still got feelings for that person. And because they are so mad that that person left, you know, they want to prove a point and be spiteful. Like, no, I don't want you back. No, I ain't feeling you. But you hurt the moment that person sees, okay, well, I tried to go back to them. They didn't want it to work, so I'm going to move on. And now you feeling some type of way because that person have moved on. Don't let your pride, if you know you still love that person, swallow your pride and make it work. Don't look at the past, but they left me and this and that. Okay, they left you, they messed up, but somewhere it came back to slap them in the face. That's why they came back to you, evidently. So it all depends. I respect, you know, whether if you decide to work it out with them or not. It just depends on what you can deal with. Okay? And weigh the pros and the cons about the person. You know, if the bad outweighs the good, you know the relationship is over. I don't care how good they have been. If the bad outweighs the good, it is time to cut that umbilical cord. Don't keep using the one or two nice things they done. Don't let that outshine the 20 or 30 damn things, rotten ass things they have done. Okay, stop holding on to these crumbs. You know what I'm saying? Don't allow all the disrespect to overshadow, you know, the nice things or whatever that person does for you, because all it is just a form of manipulation. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like that person patting you on the back and kicking you at the same time, or you ask them for something to drink and they offer you dirty water. I mean, it defeats the purpose. You know what I'm saying? So once the bad outweighs the good, it is time to abort the mission. And last but not least, you know, be honest about your feelings. If you know you still love that person, you have to give yourself time to heal. Don't be walking around here trying to act like you all of that because you're trying to prove to the ex, I'm doing good without you, I'm moving on. But at the same time, you ain't got to let that person see you sweat, but you got to be honest with you. You know what I mean? You have to get to that place and say, I'm still hurting over this. I still love this man. I still love this woman. I'm not ready to move on. Just because you see them move on, don't you hurry up and grab somebody because you want to show them I'm moving on too. Until you really heal, do not do that. Don't bring another person on board to hurt them and use them to get back at your ex. Or you know you still really want this person over here and you just got this person over here as a standby, and this person that's with you is really reaching out to you, really want to be with you, but you really don't want them there. You just got them there as a display item because your heart is still really over there. Do not do that. And lastly, pray about it. Prayer changes things. You know what I mean? Whatever God you serve, you're going to have to spiritually get some spiritual healing and pray about it. Before you go calling 30, 40, 50 damn people trying to get all kind of advice. Child, this happened to me. Or man, this happened to me. What you think I should do? People will confuse you. You get too much advice from too many damn different people. You get confused, okay? So, on that note, I have broke down all the elements as to how to recover from a heartbreak. It is not easy. It's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take a lot of prayer, but it's okay. You know, the world has not come to an end. Your relationship may have ended, but the world has not come to an end. You don't know how God is going to bless you. God may be moving that person out the way for a reason, because bigger and better things are coming, and God knows this person's intentions are not genuine, and he don't want them there when he's ready to bless you. Just go with the flow. God is always working things out, okay? On that note, it is your girl, Lady Mocha. I thank y'all for tuning in and dining in with me at Cafe de Paris. And I did have a couple of people reach out to me before I go on that note, and I had some people who asked me, because they know I've been in school for many years, and just to give you indication, yes, I have been in school for many years, because I don't want anybody to think I've been up here, what's the word, I guess, front end or whatever the case is. But yes, these are all of my degrees here. Criminal Justice Associates degree, damn, whatever, 2010 or whatever, yeah. Bachelor's, Criminal Justice, also, high school diploma, also, Police Academy, training as well, child care also, and this is my bachelor's, my bachelor's human services degree in criminal justice. So, as y'all can see, I am really big on criminal justice. I even taken some courses in psychology as well. So a lot of topics that I do is a mixture of everything. It's based on personal experiences, what I've learned in psychology classes, what I've learned in criminal justice. So, you know, I just take all of that and I just kind of niche it together. So, yeah, somebody had asked me about what type of degrees and stuff I have and all of that. But anyway, so I ain't felt like commenting and doing all that other stuff. So I just figured I would share that with you guys. And then I'm still in school in the middle of getting my second master's degree. So pray for my strength in the Lord. It is not easy being a college student, okay? On that note, I love you guys, and I thank you for rocking it out with your girl at Cafe de Paris, and y'all have a wonderful day. And remember, I'm going to always pour you a cup of truth, and I'm going to always break y'all for the slice of knowledge. Y'all have a good one.